In this video, I'm going to reveal to you how you can save your first home owner's grant, but also buy an investment property. There's lots of people out there who want to get access to the state first home builder grants and also the stamp duty concessions available. For the average Aussie looking to get into their first home, you could get 15 to 25K in those first home owner grants and also around a $15,000 benefit if you're looking to receive stamp duty concessions. This could add up anywhere between say 30 to 45K on any given individual looking to break into their market with their first home. But I wanted to create this video to add value to those of you who want to potentially get into the property market, but not potentially lose access to those first home owner grants and those stamp duty concessions. The way this is done is by buying your first property through a corporate trustee scenario. This is essentially where you buy your first property with a company and a trust structure. So the trust structure is essentially what holds and owns the property at the end of the day, and the corporate trustee, i.e. the company, is what goes on the title when you purchase the property. This is very similar to how self-managed super funds are run. Self-managed super funds have a company, they have a trust, and the company goes on the title when you purchase the property. It's the same scenario here, just outside of those super guidelines. You go to an accountant, you set up a company, you set up a trust deed, and you buy the property in that company's name. What this means is you have not used the stamp duty concessions or the first home owner grants that you could access in your personal name. So if you go out and buy $1 million investment property in a company and trustee structure, you could then go out and buy your first home at around say $450,000 or $500,000 and get access to those grants. Now, this is also a smart way for couples to potentially access the grants separately. So, of course, this is not tax or financial advice, but have a chat with a lawyer, accountant, or trusted advisor and look at the potential as a couple that you could both get access to those individual grants as well as buying in a company and trust structure to make a separate purchase. This type of knowledge was not available to my parents and was definitely not available to myself so freely on YouTube when I first started investing in property. Emily and I actually never received any first home grants or stamp duty concessions. Now, going back, knowing what I know now, I would potentially look at doing a new build because of the depreciation benefits and because of what you can create if you could buy in the right location. The problem for me is I'm very focused on the established market. My personal belief is that property that has been established and built out over at least 20 to 30 years plus is property that's going to continue to be in demand because there's that limited land supply. So that's why Emily and I didn't go ahead with going for a first home builder grant or those first home stamp duty concessions here in Queensland and went for a higher price point property at around the 800K mark. It was far closer to the CBD, it had renovation potential, and we were able to add value to that property immediately. Now, if you're potentially a first home buyer, this is something to consider, whether you could buy a separate investment in a company and trust structure and also keep your grants still available in your personal name. You may not even use this information, but it's good to know what your options are out there. Emily and I had never considered this when we bought our very first home. This option could really help you leapfrog onto the property market if you have a bit of borrowing capacity and you've built up a sizable deposit. You could buy one property with the first home buyer and the stamp duty concession grants and live in there for 6 to 12 months. And you could also buy a separate property before that, which could be at a higher price point, say at 700K, whereas in Queensland, the stamp duty concession falls off around the 500K mark. So as I see it in an example scenario, you could buy a property that's a little bit further out for about that 500K mark, get access to the first home builder grant, get access to the stamp duty concession. But prior to that, you could actually buy a property at say the 700K mark with the corporate trustee and the trust. And that would potentially allow you to get the benefits of both of those deals rather than if you bought that 700K property in your personal name and you missed out on accessing those stamp duty concessions and grants. Now, given my background as a chartered accountant, you need to check the rules for yourself, but this is how, if you understand the system that we live and work in, that if you take steps in a chronological order and you set yourself up in the right way, you could potentially buy a property and not miss out on these grants and stamp duty concessions. I thought this video would be useful for those of you worried about missing out on the first home owner grants and concessions if you were looking at buying your first property as an investment. So I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. Is this something you've thought of before? Or is this brand new to you and is potentially giving you value whether you decide to use it or not? If you could do me a favor by dropping a like on this video and subscribing to the channel down below, and head over to purposeproperty.com.au if you want to book in a free strategy session with myself and have a chat about potentially buying a property in the Brisbane market in the next 6 months. Otherwise, click this video over here for more things real estate, renovating, and financial freedom. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.